Chapter 141. The second strike of the heavenly tribulation. Therefore, the gap between the fourth level of the Jidan stage and the third level of the Jidan stage was very large. Kang Chon could already fight against ordinary Jidan stage level powerhouses at the second level of the Jidan stage. And I'm afraid that when he breaks through to the fourth level of the Jidan stage, I'm afraid that a Yuanying stage expert would be able to fight against it as well. Rumble. The fifth wave of heavenly lightning soon descended. Kang Chon couldn't care about the excitement in his heart. He began to concentrate and wait for it, although he could make use of heavenly lightning to refine his body. But if he wasn't careful, he would also be devoured by the heavenly lightning, especially since heavenly lightning refining the body was excruciatingly painful, which was very tortuous. After every heavenly thunder refining body, Kang Chon's entire spirit was a bit depressed. This was the consequence of suffering from intense pain. If it was an ordinary person who would have long been unable to stand this devastation. Hissy, another burst of heartbreaking pain came. Kang Chon almost fainted from the pain. His teeth were given to him to bite several. That kind of intense pain can't use words to describe. Damn, for the sake of great power, I'll fight. Kang Chon clenched his teeth, his eyes red. He remembered the scene of being ridiculed when he failed to build the foundation. He remembered the helpless scene when Anti-King and the Grand Elder died tragically. He did not want to have such a brutal experience again. He wanted to protect his loved ones around him, and he wanted to pursue even more powerful strength. In the midst of such intense pain, Kang Chon's physical body continued to strengthen. His cultivation broke through once again, reaching the late second level of the Jidan stage. Rumble. The fifth wave of heavenly thunder had just passed without giving Kang Chon the slightest preparation. The sixth wave of heavenly thunder immediately descended, completely blasting Kang Chon, who hadn't yet had the time to breathe a sigh of relief, into the ground. Everyone watching outside the scene could not help but gasp. This heavenly tribulation was too strange. It did not give Kang Chon the slightest time to prepare. Even the 9 heavenly tribulations were not this bizarre. Jin San Xiao's face was astonished as he thought of a possibility. It really is a special bloodline. This is no longer the 99 heavenly tribulation. This is the different heavenly tribulation. Even if these 81 heavenly thunderbolts fall, this heavenly tribulation won't end. There is an even more terrifying heavenly tribulation further back. Zhenin King said in a deep voice. He finally affirmed the information that Kang Chon possessed a special bloodline. Lei Yun was shocked at his words and said, "Father, you said that Kang Chon also possesses a special bloodline." Liu Suifeng and Hua Wanyong also looked at King Zhenin with shocked faces. "I'm afraid so. Otherwise, how could this brat be so powerful?" Jin San Xiao laughed bitterly. He realized that he had still underestimated Kang Chon. Special bloodline or. In this great Tang cultivation world, the only two people who possessed a special bloodline were only Zhao Wuji and Lei Yun. Even in the entire Flood Continent cultivation world, there weren't many who possessed a special bloodline. It can be said that every person with a special bloodline is a genius, and in the future, there will be a place for him, the cultivation world of the Flood Continent. Jin San Xiao had already valued Kang Chon's talent, but in the end, he hadn't thought that he had still underestimated Kang Chon. Wang Tixiong heard the surprise and worry. Surprise is Kang Chon has a special bloodline. Worry is how to avoid this heavenly calamity. Not far away, Li Yuanba and the 9 princesses were gloomy. They also guessed that Kang Chon might have a special bloodline. Not only them. At this moment, some of the older generation powerhouses in the crowd had also guessed that, after all, this 9 heavenly tribulation of Kang Chon had undergone a mutation, and the only thing that could trigger such a situation was the legendary special bloodline. Special bloodline or. No wonder Overlord is so powerful. I'm afraid that in the young generation of the great Tang cultivation world, the only one who can fight with Zhao Wuji is Overlord Kang Chon, and both of them have the same special bloodline. When Overlord passes the heavenly tribulation, there will definitely be a place for him at the potential dragon ranking. And with his strength, he will definitely be able to enter the top 20. A gasp and exclamation of surprise came out from the crowd. The information that Kang Chon was of a special bloodline instantly spread throughout the entire imperial capital, and everyone was abuzz. And at this moment, Kang Chon, who was underground, was caught in a difficult situation. The heavenly thunder behind him kept falling without the slightest gap. Intense pain came in waves. This horrifying scene was unimaginable to everyone. If it wasn't for a mysterious energy surging out from the reverse heavenly cauldron at a critical moment, shielding Kang Chon, I'm afraid he would have been destroyed by the powerful heavenly thunder. The vast and endless lightning engulfed the entire life and death platform. The blazing light made everyone go blind. Kang Chon was at the bottom of the earth. His entire body was wandering in constant destruction and rebirth. That instantaneous perception of life and death made his spirit reach the ultimate sublimation. At this time, it was already the 7th wave of heavenly thunderbolt bombardment. After the baptism of 7 waves of thunderbolts, Kang Chon's cultivation had finally broken through to the 3rd level of the Jiden stage. And at the same time, his fleshly body had also reached an incomparably terrifying level. And he felt that the strength of his fleshly body was approaching the level of medium-grade spirit weapon. Boom! When the 8th wave of heavenly thunder blasted down, Kang Chon felt an intense crisis. His entire body trembled, as a pain so intense that it was extreme descended with the thunderbolt. The power of the 8th wave of heavenly thunder was extremely powerful. The destruction caused was almost devastating. Kang Chon's powerful fleshly body was revealed in a split second to be a ghastly white bone. His hair was vaporized in an instant as well, and his entire body almost became a skeleton. Hiss! Kang Chon finally couldn't help but roar. He just couldn't bear it anymore. The pain was enough to make anyone lose their mind. Even though Kang Chon clenched his teeth, he was forced to roar loudly at this moment. He kept on blasting the ground with his fists to the point that he was able to keep the last of his sanity. However, the pain was just too intense and his intent began to blur. This was a very dangerous scene. The Dan Emperor in the reverse heavenly cauldron was incomparably anxious and kept calling out to Kang Chon. But to no avail. Kang Chon's intentionality could no longer hold on. Kid, you can't give up. Hold on. As long as you make it through, you kid will be transformed into a dragon and take off from now on. Emperor Dan shouted, wanting to stimulate Kang Chon's consciousness and make him hold on. However, Kang Chon's consciousness had already begun to blur. The power of the 8th wave of heavenly lightning was simply too powerful. And even though his flesh had begun to regrow flesh and hair under the restoration of Kang Chon's hegemonic blood, the pain that was so intense that it was extreme had instantly caused Kang Chon to pass out. Kid, Emperor Dan was incomparably anxious. Suddenly, the reverse heavenly cauldron shook violently, and Emperor Dan was startled. Right at this moment, a mysterious energy erupted from the reverse heavenly cauldron, flowing along Kang Chon's meridians and towards the surroundings of Kang Chon's body. Emperor Dan was incomparably shocked. This was the first time he had seen such a strange movement from the reverse heavenly cauldron. This mysterious force was not very powerful, but it was full of vitality. It was somewhat similar to the life energy that Kang Chon's overbearing blood had released from devouring the power of the thunderbolt. It was just purer than it was, and the life aura was even more intense. Could this be the purest life energy? Emperor Dan was worthy of being a powerhouse, just one step away from entering the immortal realm. He immediately thought of the legendary life force, the kind of force that was full of the aura of life, which was very similar to this energy spewing out of the reverse heavenly cauldron. It was rumored that life force could allow some people who had died not long ago to be able to come back from the dead, and that no matter how grievous the injuries were, life force could be repaired, and even the brokenness of the soul could be repaired. In short, life force was a very marvelous power, but Emperor Dan had never seen it at all before, and had only seen some records about it in some classics. He didn't expect that there was life force hidden within the reverse heavenly cauldron. If he had had this life force to protect him when he crossed the tribulation back then, he wouldn't have ended up in such a situation today, and I'm afraid that he would have long since ascended to the heavenly realm. What a lucky boy. It seems that the reverse heavenly cauldron can only be of marvelous use if you recognize the owner. But I'm sorry that I have no fate with it. Emperor Dan couldn't help but be incomparably envious. With this life force, Kang Tian had turned the corner at the moment and had gained many benefits. Under the soothing of this life force, Kang Tian's whole body injuries were rapidly recovering. New flesh and blood were rapidly growing on those morose white bones. And even Kang Tian's dull and shriveled mind was instantly sublimated and recovered. What's happening? My entire body feels incomparably comfortable. Kang Tian suddenly woke up from his stupor. At once an incomparably comfortable feeling came from all over his body. He couldn't help but moan out in comfort. This feeling was as if he had returned to his mother's embrace. It was so comfortable. You're so lucky. Dan Emperor saw Kang Tian waking up and told him what had just happened. Kang Tian was incomparably surprised after hearing this. He didn't think that there was still life force hidden in the reverse heavenly cauldron. This time it was really a great misfortune. He now felt that his physical body had become extremely powerful, completely comparable to a peak spirit weapon, and his cultivation had also entered the 4th level of the Jiden stage from the 3rd level of the Jiden stage. This was a qualitative change. Even Kang Tian himself did not expect that this wave of thunder tribulation would bring him such great benefits. Of course, this was also thanks to the reverse heavenly cauldron, or else he was afraid that this time he would be finished. Rumble. At this moment, the tribulation clouds in the sky trembled violently, and the 9th wave of heavenly thunder was about to descend. This was the last wave of the heavenly lightning of the heavenly tribulation. Before it descended, the aura of destroying the sky and the earth already shook everyone watching from afar. This was definitely comparable to the full force of a yuanying stage powerhouse. On the viewing platform, Jin San Xiao, Wang Taizhong, Lei Yun, Hua Wanyong, Liu Suifeng and the others all stood up worriedly. Everyone's fists clenched tightly, their complexion gloomy, as they watched this last wave of heavenly thunder descend. Boom, 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 boom. The terrifying 9th wave of heavenly thunder was like the Milky Way pouring down. That matchless energy, like a Yangtze river breaking through the absolute embankment. Rushing in, majestic, mountains calling out to the sea. That blazing light made the people watching couldn't help but cover their eyes. The sun in the sky was incomparably dim at this moment. Come on. Kang Tian stood up straight. In his eyes incomparably strong confidence. For this 9th wave of heavenly thunder, he was fully informed. So what if the attack is comparable to the yuanying stage? Kang Tian coldly smiled. At this moment, his cultivation reached the 4th layer of the Jiden stage. Physical strength is comparable to the peak level of spiritual weapons, even if one-on-one meets the yuanying stage of the strong. He also has confidence in a battle, not to mention that just facing the district of a strike. Rumble. Terrifying heavenly thunder instantly descended. Blazing lightning engulfed the life and death platform. Kang Tian still did not transport out the true essence to resist, but rather with a strong physical body hard resistance. This time his fleshly body was not completely destroyed. The powerful heavenly thunderbolt only blasted Kang Tian's entire body into the ground. His powerful fleshly body hardened against this thunderbolt's attack. What a powerful fleshly body. Boy, I'm afraid that Li Laoki can't withstand a single blast from your fist right now. An exclamation from Emperor Dan came from his mind. Kang Tian also felt this way. Now his fleshly body was just as powerful. And after the 9th wave of heavenly thunder, his fleshly body had once again strengthened a lot. It just still hadn't reached the treasure artifact level. It could only be said that it was infinitely close to the treasure artifact level. Even so, this terrifying fleshly body was extremely powerful. When the 9th wave of heavenly lightning was about to run out, Kang Tian hurriedly took out a black garment from the reverse heavenly cauldron and put it on, or else his spring light would be leaked later. At this moment, everyone outside was staring at the large pit that was being bombarded by the heavenly thunder. They all wanted to know if Kang Tian had held on or not. Li Yuanba clenched his fists, his icy eyes staring at the big pit. The 9 princes did the same. Jin San Xiao, Wang Taizhong, Lei Yun, Liu Suifeng, Hua Wanyong and the others were even more anxious.